What is up, gamers? Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we have some awesome news. We got information on all four of the new units that they're going to be releasing in the next beta phase here. So I'm excited to get into that. But real quick, if you'd like to get up to speed on all the latest news and information for Battle Aces, I'll leave a link to my playlist right up here for you. And feel free to check that out, and that'll get you caught up on everything you need to know about Battle Aces as we go into this new beta. And then also, if you enjoy this, if you could please like and subscribe to the channel, I'd very much appreciate it. And if you could leave a comment down below as well, that'd help me out a ton. As we get into this next beta, I want to do some more tutorial and guide type of videos and whatnot. And so if there's anything particular that you'd be interested in seeing, definitely let me know, and I can make that work. And finally, I'd also like to do a few coaching sessions for my YouTube channel at some point for this game. So if you'd be interested in getting some coaching for this game, contact me through either a comment down below or through my Discord server or through X, and we can definitely work something out there. All right, so now let's jump into the first unit here. We're going to take a look at the Advanced Mortar. The Advanced Mortar is definitely looking pretty cool and pretty strong as well. If you have watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that the Mortar is kind of my arch nemesis in this game, something that's always been very strong. And so I expect the Advanced Mortar to be pretty strong as well. We can take a look at the stats here. It looks like the Advanced Mortar is going to be 125 matter, 125 energy, 5 bandwidth, 600 damage, 6.3 move speed, 2000 health, and 2000 range. And then it's also going to be in the Advanced Foundry slot. It's a ground unit, of course, and the biggest difference here is that it attacks both ground and air units, which will be very interesting. And so it actually has very similar stats to the Mortar. The only stat we don't really have here is the attack speed of the Advanced Mortar. So I'm not sure if it attacks faster or slower than the Mortar. That'll kind of change its DPS. But for the most part, you can expect this unit to function very similarly to the Mortar. And the biggest difference, as I said, is going to be that it's able to attack air units. And since it's splash damage, it's going to be very strong and good against small units. And then it's going to be weak against the big units. Really, I think the Advanced Mortar is going to be really strong against almost all the units in the game. It's really only going to struggle up against some of the big units. So if you pair up the Advanced Mortar with something like the Destroyer to take out those big units, it's going to be a pretty nasty combo to deal with. And same with the air units. Most of the air units in the game are considered small units, or just, the normal standard type of air unit. And I think the Advanced Mortar is going to do very well against all of that. It will be interesting to see how well the Advanced Mortar does up against something like the Falcon. The Falcon's not technically a big unit, but it's one of the more beefy normal units, if that makes sense. And so it'll be interesting to see that matchup and how the Falcons do up against these. But I would think the Advanced Mortars probably still do pretty well against the Falcon for the most part. In fact, the only two big air units that they have in the game, I think, currently are the Bulwark and the Cat Bus, and the Bulwark hasn't been too strong of a unit in the past, so I'm kind of hoping they buff it a little bit for this next beta, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But the Cat Bus has been consistently very strong in the game, so I would expect it to continue to be strong, and I think that'll probably be the best way to deal with the Advanced Mortars with the Cat Bus. Anyways, I think that looks really cool. I'll definitely give that a try when it comes out. Anyways, let's move into the next one here. And then so next up we have the Shade, and the Shade is an advanced Starforge air unit that can attack ground only. So we have, for the unit details here, we got matter 125, energy 125, bandwidth 5, damage 300, move speed 11.2, health 2800, and range 8. And so the Shade, I think, is going to be one of the first air units that is also able to do splash damage. And it's also considered a small unit. So that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. I think that'll make it very strong, but also still, of course, have its weaknesses. It'll be strong up against other small ground units, as well as ground anti-big units. And then it'll be weak against splash and big units. And then, of course, it'll also be weak against other air units that can attack air units. So you'll have to watch out for things like the Dragonfly, the Locust, or the Airship, or any other air unit that can attack air units. And then its biggest weakness in terms of other ground units is going to be the Heavy Hunter, of course. And it'll be interesting to see how the Shade does up against some of the Tier 1 anti-air units. I think the Shade might be able to put up a bit of a fight against those. I would expect the Shade to struggle a bit more against the Tier 2 or Tier 3 ground anti-air units. But it'll be interesting to see how it stacks up against the Tier 1. I think that'll kind of be the main factor or deal breaker for the Shade and how good it might be. I think it's going to do very well in a lot of matchups, and it'll just depend on whether or not your opponent has a counter against it. All right, and so next we have the Blaster, and the Blaster is going to be an Advanced Foundry ground-type unit that can attack both air and ground units. It's going to cost 125 matter and energy with a bandwidth of 5, 250 damage, 6.3 move speed, 1800 health, and 12 range. It's going to have splash damage, and so that'll make it really strong up against small units and weak against big units. And so the Blaster will be interesting because it's actually going to be competing for the same spot as the Advanced Mortar. And so it does have some similarities to the Advanced Mortar. They can both attack both air and ground units, and they both have a similar movement speed at 6.3. The main difference there, though, is that the Advanced Mortar will have to set up just like the Mortar does, and so it'll have to be stationary in order to attack, whereas the Blaster should be able to kite units as it can move in between attacks. Now, the Blaster does seem to have lower damage, but we'll have to see what the Blaster has for attack speed. Again, that's not listed here, but just watching the video here, it looks like the Blaster is attacking pretty quickly, and so I'm not sure what the attack speed on it is yet, and so we'll just have to wait and see when the game comes out. But I think it'll be similar in strength overall to the Advanced Mortar. It'll have better mobility, but I'm assuming it'll have a little bit less DPS to compensate for that. It'll be interesting to see how these kind of compete against each other. Again, I think the Blaster will do pretty well up against most other units, and it'll struggle against the big units, of course, and I would say the main thing you want to be aware of is any cat buses on your opponent's deck. I think that would probably be one of the biggest counters against this. I'm excited to try this one out. It seems like it's right up my alley of the type of unit that I like, so I definitely look forward to giving that one a go. And finally, last but not least, we have the Guardian Shield, and we can see the Guardian Shield has a damage of 100, range of 22, and unit type passive. So the Guardian Shield is going to be an extremely different and unique type of unit that we haven't seen before yet. So they're calling it a passive unit, and it's actually going to take one of your core slots, and it can attack both ground and air units. This isn't a unit that you're going to have to make, and you're not going to have to move it around or anything. When you start the game, it'll automatically appear on your core base, and then it will also appear on any new resource space that you make for the rest of the game. And then it will automatically defend each of those bases as well as the workers. And whenever an enemy is in range of that, it'll attack them. And it also provides your workers with a 600 health shield. And so I don't know all the specific details on that. I don't know if the shield regenerates at all, or if it comes back. If your worker dies and respawns, does the shield come back? I'm not too sure on the details of that yet, so we'll just kind of have to wait and see what that ends up being. But a 600 health shield is pretty big and pretty nice to have. And then another thing I'm not too sure about yet is, what's the target prioritization going to be on this? Is there a way for you to change what it's targeting, or is it just going to automatically target like the closest unit or something? I'm not sure on that yet, but it does look pretty cool. It looks good. It looks pretty strong. It looks like it's going to be stronger early game and kind of fall off a little bit in the mid game and then late game and everything. But it will still be nice to have throughout the entire game because it'll always protect you, or at least help protect you against certain raids and whatnot. If your main army is grouped together and you're pushing your opponent, but then your opponent sends a little sneak attack flank with a few units, the Guardian Shield should be able to help defend against that pretty well. And then the main thing that you'll have to kind of take into consideration here with the Guardian Shield is that it's going to be taking up one of your core unit slots. And so you'll only have room for one other core unit. And so you'll have to decide if you want to pair that up with either one of the Tier 1 anti-air units or one of the Tier 1 ground units. But I think that'll be a pretty interesting choice to make. I think it's going to work really well for people who want to have more of a defensive strategy or want to expand more. You might be able to get up to 4 or 5 bases with this. And then you can focus on more of a defensive play style, defending each of your bases and building up your army slowly over time. And then once you think you have enough firepower, then you can kind of push into your opponent and try to end the game that way. So I'm definitely really excited to give this unit a try. This might be one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most. I feel like there's just a lot of different ways you could play the game with this unit. And so I'm excited to try a bunch of different things out, different combinations and whatnot, and see what works the best with it. And well, that's all 4 of the new units. I hope you're looking forward to these as much as I am. I can't wait to get into the game and try it out. Remember, the beta is coming back soon on the 16th of April here, so we don't have to wait too much longer. Definitely check out battleaces, all their socials, and their website and everything. If you need to get signed up, you can do that at their website. But I think that'll do it for this one. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you could comment down below, I'd very much appreciate that. That helps me out a lot. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.